Hey y'all. So my name is Diamond and I'm from Mississippi, Delta born and raised. And I always wanted to start my own YouTube channel so I can inspire, uplift in any way that I can. So yeah, I decided to start it. So today, what's on my heart? I want to talk about the importance of self-love and the road that I'm still on with trying to understand that idea and concept by itself. So I know for me, I always wanted to nurture other people, and be there for other people in any way that I could, even if I was sacrificing myself. And I didn't realize until I went to counseling that is so detrimental to you. And sometimes you always trying to nurture other people. That's a toxic trait in yourself, because when you nurturing other people, you tend to forget about yourself. But sometimes I think that we do that on purpose so we won't have to focus on our own issues. So yeah, I always was the one that anytime that somebody had a problem, they could call me no matter what time it was. And I always thought I had to fix them, or I had to be there for them, or I had to work out their issues by myself for them. And they weren't even trying to, work out their own issues. And I loved too hard, not realizing that I wasn't loving myself at all, at least not correctly. So I know that's true for a lot of us, especially women. We just got a nurturing spirit, and we always feel like we have to nurture other people in spite of actually sitting down, getting our own selves together. And then, case in point with me, I noticed that it was getting to a point where I was resenting the same people that I was helping because I wasn't getting the same love in return. And what I mean by that is that anytime that I needed somebody to wipe my tears, nobody was there. I had to do that on my own. And anytime that I needed a shoulder to cry on, well, I didn't have that too much either. So it just got to a point that, I'm helping everybody else out more than I help myself. And that's problematic. No wonder I'm snapping out on people or angry at people, being all the things and acting all the ways that I know that God did not intend for me to be, or to act like, or to demonstrate myself as. I was just upset because I was a diamond that I didn't even recognize anymore. But I got to the point where I could no longer be mad at other people. I had to look in the mirror and be like, okay, what is it about you that you always want to help other people but seem to never be able to show yourself that same amount of courtesy? And then it clicked to me, I need to go to counseling and work on it, because it's just like I was running myself to the ground. So I said all that to say is, if you notice that you're constantly upset, or you constantly helping other people, and ain't nobody around when you need a shoulder to cry on but the good Lord above, you probably need to start reevaluating how you act and how you moving and how much help and how available you make yourself to other people. Because it comes to a point, it's not your job to fix no other human being. They have to be willing to do that on their own. And if they're not, that's okay. You pray for them and then you move on accordingly. And do it with love, because you always should try to do anything that you do, it should be in love, but not at the detriment or the downfall of yourself. Now, I'm still learning it, because it's so easier to help other people to that to the point that you don't actually want to help yourself because it hurts too bad to open up old wounds and realize, hey, that is something I need to work on, or that is something I need to fix, or that is something that I need to analyze in my head, because maybe I could do it different and maybe I could get a different response next time. And that, yeah, just analyze. That's all that I am doing right now, is just analyze. Is so important because it's so hard when you're pouring into other humans and you're not pouring into yourself, and then you wondering why I'm mad. You mad at yourself because you're not giving yourself the same amount of love that you giving out ultimately. And it's so important, especially for women, to get that, especially when it comes to relationships. If you trying to fix your partner, and first of all, I will say that that's not good. Don't do that. Don't fall in love with potential. Love that person as they are right now in this moment, because if you don't, well, then you probably don't love that person like you say that you do. And secondly, you can't fix anyone. God didn't put you on this planet to fix anyone. You can facilitate people. You can pray for people. You can uplift people. But when you find yourself trying to fix their wounds while you're still wounded yourself, then that ain't gonna work. That ain't what God created you to do, because then you burning yourself down in the ground. And what type of garden would you be if you letting your roots die and giving everything else life? You can only be a garden when your roots are being watered and when your roots are being fed. Then that's when you can give birth to different fruits or vegetables or whatever the case may be in your garden. But you can't do that if you're drained and the life is sucked out of you. So that brings me to my next point: self-care, self-love. Self-care is very hard. Self-love is very hard. And to be honest, as humans, I don't know if we ever just 100% master it. Because if we did, what would we need God for? And we need him all the time. So with self-love, it's hard because you got to get to the point, and I always tell people, it's not my job. I can't tell you when to be tired of your circumstances. The next person can't, and the next person can't be judgmental of you because you're not tired of your circumstances, because we all have failed short. But it comes to a point that you have to be tired of what you're dealing with. You have to be tired of your circumstance in order for you to just be like, okay, it's time for me to look myself in the mirror. Instead of me trying to fix this person, in what areas is God trying to force me to grow? And what areas is God trying to get me to learn? What do I need to see? What do I need to hear? What I need to pay attention to when it comes to my life circumstances? Is it something that I need to stop doing or start doing? Do I need to pray more? Do I need to address my childhood traumas? Is it something, a way that I'm just disillusioned in what God trying to get me to go? What is it that I need to do in order to get out of this habit, this cycle of doing the same thing, getting the same results, and then getting mad when I don't see a change? You know, what is it? So that's the first step for me, looking in the mirror. Like, okay, what is it about me that has to help people but allow my own self to sink? What is it about me that I'd rather see other people happy than myself? That I'd rather pray for other people than I do for myself? What is it? And then you have to sit in the harsh reality of listening to your spirit, because what you ask, I'm a strong believer, God is going to put it in your spirit, and you already know the answer, even if we choose to play crazy. Another point. Like, He gonna put it in your spirit, and you gonna know. And it's 9 times out of 10 is something that you don't want to face, or it's hard to face. Somewhere along the line, you ain't got hurt, and you feel like, you might feel, it's not true for everybody, I'm just, speaking in general terms, that if you help other people, then maybe it'll mend your broken heart in some way. And that might not be the case for everybody, but I know for me, it kind of was, like, if I help other people, then in some way I feel validated. And that's another thing, validation from other people. The more, have y'all ever been in a position where you feel like, the more I do for this person, maybe I can get validation, or I can feel good about myself? And it never works like that. Each time I noticed that I was empty. Each time I tried to seek validation from another person. And it brought me to the realization, you can only get that type of validation from the Lord above. He can only put that joy in your heart. Nobody can do it for you. No human on this earth is capable of that type of love that you need to give to yourself, but God can give it to you. And it's hard facing our own realities, facing our own truths, trying to navigate through this life, period. It's hard, but the main goal is loving yourself first, because if you can't love yourself, you cannot love anybody else properly. Nobody else can, be loved by you. And you can't love anybody if you can't look in the mirror and love the creation that God has made, which is you. It's a hard journey. And like I said, I don't think any of us is going to 100% master it. But yeah, it's just a hard journey. But I'll leave this message with saying that, because I'm really a religious person, just pray to God. Believe in God's plan, even if it doesn't make sense. And Jesus know, so many times I have been angry because I'm one of those people that I think that I know what God got for my life. I think I know how my life gonna go. In time something happens, I just be all over the place. I be freaking out, don't know what's gonna happen, don't know what I'm gonna do. God, why is this happening? God, why you doing this? Why? It just doesn't even make sense of what you doing. God, why? And then time bypass, and I'd be like, oh, well, I see what you're doing, but it still hurts. And sometimes it's just so hard sitting in that hurt. But I believe hurt is the very thing, pain is the very thing that's going to help you grow as an individual. Because if you've never been through pain, you don't know how to navigate through the good or the bad times, because that's what I think pain is invented for, from the Lord above. So I end this message by saying, love on yourself, pray for yourself, do for yourself. Then if you choose to do for other people, fine. And self-love, it will look like changing your availability to certain individuals that do not want to pour into you, or it's not benefiting you in any type of way, or just sucking the life out of you. Self-love is going to look like just distancing yourself, cutting yourself off. It's going to look like if a person wants to, contact me, be in relation with me, they know how to find me. If not, that's fine too, because I love me. And God is going to make a way for the right people to be in my life, with whatever the case may be. So yeah, just love on yourself. You're beautiful. God makes no mistakes. God definitely didn't make a mistake when he made you. Yeah, and on top of that, I'm new to YouTube. So yeah, y'all subscribe. And I'm out.